Can you breastfeed with implants? Are you worried about cancer? Do you have breast implant illness? Do you regret it? What did you get done? Hi, my name is Chelsea Delgado. I'm a mom of 3. I share real mom life. We talk about it all. We don't gatekeep here, okay? And because we don't gatekeep, I have openly talked about getting breast implants when I was 19. I'm now 32, so you do the math. They've been in there a while, okay? They used to recommend getting them out and redone every 10 years. That has changed. As long as you're getting MRIs after that 10-year mark and making sure that there's no ruptures, no issues, you're good to keep them in. Some people have them 20, 30, 40 years, so mine are still good. So let's just start it off with what I got done. Let me get my little card because I forget the specifics and I want to give it to you straight. Here it is. Haven't seen this in a long time. First of all, Dr. Guerra, 19. My date of surgery was 5/21/2012. Wow, that really been a minute. I knew since I was a little girl that I wanted big boobies. So there was never a question for me. I thought they were coming eventually. Like all my Barbies had them. Where were mine? So here's the specifics. Mentor, smooth round, moderate plus profile gel. Got silicone. I was hoping it had my cc's on there. I can't remember exactly. I want to say it was 250 or 300 cc's, but in that ballpark. And let me just clear the air. I have zero regrets. I would do it again. If these ruptured, I'd probably get them redone. And that's because without them, I don't really have anything, and it makes me feel more feminine. And I think that is part of being a feminist, is being able to choose what you want to do with your body and what makes you feel your best and most confident. And as long as you're not doing it out of a place of pressure to look or be a certain way, I think it's okay to do it for yourself. You know, if your husband's like, I think you'd look a lot hotter with some big boobies, probably not a good reason. Been thinking about it for years and years, and you've always known that you wanted to do that, I say go for it. It's your body. The one body you get might as well be a place that you feel really comfortable with. Also, this is not me endorsing plastic surgery either. I say do whatever makes you feel your best, whatever makes you feel most beautiful, most confident. But I don't think there's any shame in getting any sort of minor adjustments. We put makeup on, we do our hair, we dye our hair. Some people get Botox or whatever you do to your face. Why is our body so much different when we talk about it like that? Something to think about. Now I'll answer your questions. Do you worry about cancer? I do already, just like because I'm kind of a hypochondriac, so I guess so, but not because of implants. I worry about other cancers. Did they affect breastfeeding at all? This is the biggest question I got the most, and the answer is no. And I truthfully don't know if it's because I had them so much earlier. Like, you know, I was 19 and didn't become a mom until I was 25, so they had time obviously to settle in. I also got them under the muscle, so there was no severing of the milk ducts. And I think that makes a really big difference. And honestly, it's something I never thought about. My doctor did think about it though, and he mentioned it's better to go under the muscle if you plan to ever breastfeed. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I wasn't thinking about it. I was 19. All right, sounds good. So yeah, I did breastfeed all 3 of my kids, 1 to 2 years each of them, so there were no issues there. Did you have any breast implant illness symptoms? The answer is no. And I feel like this is a little tricky because I do think it is real, but I also think we start to manifest things when we start to hyper obsess over them. So I think when we start to look for these symptoms, we do find them. So I think maybe there's a lot of fear circulating about this. I'm not saying it's not real, it's definitely real, but I think it's less common than we think about because think of all the positive stories. You're not hearing people talk about the positive stories because negative voices are louder. And that's the same way with anything. Like, you go on a Yelp review page, what do you see? The negative comments, because usually when you have a positive experience, you're not going, wow, this was amazing, or this was average, you know, whatever. You're not really talking about it unless it's negative. So that's why you hear so many of those stories, because the positive people aren't saying, hey, I got my breast done and it's amazing, I'm not sick. Like, it's different. The answer is no. Do you have to change them out? I answered that already. It's not every 10 years anymore. I want boobies so bad, and I don't want to pay every 10 years. So rest assured, that's not a thing anymore. And that was honestly like a big scary thing for me. Even when I got them done the first time, I'm like, oh crap, I'm gonna have to get this done in 10 years. And then I thought that's a problem for future me. But I'm so glad that has changed since then. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. I also really don't exercise my chest anymore because I have seen people who do that. It kind of pulls things apart. I don't want mine to sit so separately. I want them to look like they're sisters, not like they're enemies. You know, they're so far away. How did you pick your surgeon? Honestly, back then, I am a little embarrassed to admit that I didn't do a lot of research. Like, I did a sufficient amount, and once I found like good reviews and I'm like, okay, he's in my neighborhood, like he's in the valley, got good reviews, in my price range, let's do this. I feel like now I would do way more research but I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm so glad I went with him. Everything was great. Recovery time with littles, thankfully it's something I never had to worry about because I was recovering at home with nobody. I do think I would be really scared to have that kind of recovery with littles because I was so out of it for the first few days. I took the painkillers they gave me. It made me so tired and I just slept all day for like 3 days or so. And then for like a good week, you're just kind of down. Like I remember sleeping in a recliner for at least a week, wearing your bandages. It wasn't until 6 weeks that you're cleared to start like exercising low impact again. I kind of just lounged around for 6 weeks, and that's really not realistic for moms of littles. So I feel like when your kids are a little older, then that would be the time. Maybe like 5 and up. I don't know. Obviously you be the judge, but when they're like less needy to be on you and all over you all the time. Honestly, for me, it felt like a really big chest workout. Like I was so sore, kind of not like super painful, but just like I had a huge workout the day before. Have you had any issues? You know what? One thing I will note throughout that time since then, obviously like I've gone way up and down with my weight. And I've noticed as I've lost weight, since I don't naturally have a lot of breast tissue, and since I stopped breastfeeding my kids, I kind of like I have noticed I have like a little bit of rippling on one of them, just because there's not really any natural tissue to help cushion that. So I think that's something to be wary of. I know that some of my friends also, when they're like naturally very lean and don't have a lot of tissue there to start with, rippling can be something that you deal with. Personally, it doesn't really bother me. I only have like one small area like that, and I'm not like showing them off to anyone but my husband, so not a big deal. And honestly, he doesn't even notice it. I notice it. Do you feel they have made you sick at any point? I hear that a lot. No. Again, I feel like I don't look for or try to like manifest the symptoms of it, honestly. I don't think they have made me sick in any sort of way. Did you go here in AZ? Yes. Scottsdale, Arizona. Where did you go? Do you recommend them? I'm reading horror stories, but not much positive. So this is what I'm saying. Negative stories are always louder for everything in life. And that's normal. Like we want to complain and talk about the scary, horrible things that happen. Like even when I was giving birth, I would only see negative stories. It's awful. So we have to be careful with what we consume online and look for the positive things. Like we have to remember for every negative story, there's probably 10 positives that we don't hear about. Was under the muscle painful? Like I've heard. This is exactly what I want. They look fat. Thank you. Was it painful? I mean, honestly, just like I said, I felt like I had a massive, like I was benching the most I've ever benched, and I was super sore. It's the only way I can explain it. I wouldn't say it was painful. The pain meds, I took them for like the first week, and then I wasn't taking them anymore. And again, this is so long ago that it's hard to recall those memories super fresh. How was recovery? So I took those 6 weeks off of exercising and off of work. I was a waitress at the time, so I couldn't even be lifting the tray. But when I went back, I feel like I healed so well, and because I was so cautious and wasn't trying to exert any energy, like I followed all the rules. I am a rule follower. That is one thing about me, and I feel like everything healed really well. And that's also probably why I didn't have any complications. Does having implants affect how they feel when being with your partner? I've always wondered. I've never noticed any difference, and I'm honestly kind of unclear on what that question is. Maybe comment below and let me know a little more like what that means. But no, I don't notice any difference. This one cracks me up because it's the girl I went to high school with saying, I had no idea. I always wondered how they sat so nicely. I feel like if you saw me in high school, you would know. Although I did wear a lot of push-up bras and like Victoria's Secret to try to hide the fact that I didn't have anything going on. But I tried honestly to go with like a smaller implant size just to look proportionate. I wasn't trying to look like noticeably fake, if that makes sense, which no shame. If you want to go big, you go big, girlfriend. For me, I just wanted to look proportionate. No cue, I just think these look great on you without being crazy fake looking good pics. See? Thank you. That was the whole goal. I've gone through the weight loss journey. Through gaining weight and then losing weight, I've gone all the way up to a double D and down to a C. So we've been all over the place. And I've learned I actually like being a C the best. When I was that big, I felt like I couldn't run well. Did you get a lift as well? They look so natural. That's the look I'm going for. Who was your doctor? I did not get a lift because I was 19. Although now I'm kind of like, maybe. If I had to get them redone, I probably would get a lift. But I don't know. Again, because I don't have much going on my own that I don't know. I'd see what the surgeon had to say. Did you experience nipple numbness? That's what prevents me from getting them. So no, I did not. But I also feel like they made them a little more sensitive in a way that like I just don't like them being touched. Maybe that's weird. I don't know. But I also think that actually has to do a little more with breastfeeding. Now I'm kind of like, don't touch. I don't know, maybe that's like TMI, but yeah, no numbness. Price. So after everything was said and done, I also needed biopsies beforehand, so that was kind of like what led into this. Like, okay, maybe it's time to do this because I did have to get biopsies anyway. My total price was $8,000 with the biopsy and the breast implants. $2,000 for the biopsies, $8,000, and that was for like my deductible for healthcare, and then $6,000 for the breast implants, which now I feel like is an extremely great rate, but you know, that was back in 2012. Would you recommend waiting until after having kids? That's a good question. I don't know. I really love the fact that I got them done before because they settled in so nicely, and like literally no one could tell. Well, maybe they did and they just didn't say anything. That's fine. I felt like they were so noticeably fake when they were new because they just sit really high and they look very like hard at first. But then after a few years, they like really settle nicely and everyone's always shocked when they find out, and I love that. That's the whole goal. So I'm glad I got them done before, but obviously if you're asking now, you are probably a mom and have had some kids. Can you do push-ups with them? Serious question. Yes. Yes, I can. You were very young. What influenced that decision, and how did you finance the surgery? So I always knew I was going to get them once realizing they weren't coming on their own. It was just a matter of how and when. And I was working, being a teenager, making lots of money as a waitress. I collected that very fast. So yeah, I was lucky in that sense. What size were you before? I was maybe like a full A, small B. I'm now a C, but I've been all the way to a double D, just depending on how much weight I am, like if I'm in my weight gain or weight loss journey. The incision I got was underneath, and you can't even tell, especially now that time has gone by and gravity's taken over a little bit. You definitely can't see it all when they were new. Yeah, you certainly could. Have you thought how you'll explain this to your daughter as she matures and see her own body? Yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm not gonna overcomplicate it. I'm not gonna make it mean something bigger than it is. And like I said, we put makeup on, we dye our hair, we do our hair, we do different things to our bodies to feel good, to feel confident. Why is this any different? It doesn't mean she needs to do that. It doesn't mean I will be promoting it or suggesting it to her. I'll just let her know something that I really wanted and made me feel better about myself, so I did it. And I will be very supportive of whatever she wants to do, whatever makes her feel her best. But first and foremost, obviously, I'll be teaching her to love her body and her skin that she is in. But if one day she wants to get a septum piercing, get a nose job, whatever it is, because that will make her feel her best and she's thought really long and hard and done all the research, yeah, I'll be 100% supportive. I'll be there to pick her up. I'll be there for the whole thing. I think we just need to show more love versus judgment in those cases. It's not 1990 anymore. It's not a taboo subject. It's there for us to use. You know, obviously use to your discretion. We don't need to go crazy about it, and we need to love our bodies, but also sometimes it's okay to use the things available to us. And if she really wants some boobs, then I will be there for her and I will support her. So yeah, I hope that answers your questions. I feel like it's kind of like a taboo hot topic, but it's 2025. We can talk about these things. It's normal. More people have them than you realize, have some form of work done, whether it's on their face or somewhere on their body. So whatever makes you feel good, I am fully in support of that. Let me know what questions you have for me below, and I'll get to all of your comments and questions. And don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll talk about more real life mom stuff. And let me know what you want to see next. I have a lot of ideas, but I want to hear from you and see what you want to see as well. Okay, I'll see you next time.